Women in politics, a topic fraught with opinions, controversy, and emotion. According to the Interparliamentary Union, as of 2016, the U.S. ranked 95th out of 195 countries in the world for representation of women in politics. But how has the media played a role in this? According to the theory of cultivation analysis originally proposed by G. Gerbner, the more time one spends with the media, the more one's reality aligns with that. We're inundated with news and images of politics, and we've cultivated an image of women in politics as non-existent, and if they are, incompetent and appearance-focused.
Now, the Secretary of State has been sporting a new look these days. No makeup, no contacts, no blowouts.
So I have to ask you this very personal question. Your hair.
Which designers do you prefer?
What designers of clothes?
Yeah.
Would you ever ask a man that question?
Probably not.
So unfortunately, while I don't think we should ever be talking about what anybody's wearing, we live in a world where that's the case and where women need to be a little bit more thoughtful than men about what they wear professionally. Now, I think guys have it easy, put on a suit, a jacket, and a tie, and maybe a pocket square. But women have a lot to choose from, and I intentionally dress pretty conservatively. But for women, especially women on TV, there's so much thought that goes into how low your neckline is, what color your jacket is, the material. Is it sort of a tough, strong material, or is it like a lacy, gauzy dress? Those decisions, unfortunately, need to be made, but they distract us from the issues at hand.
According to the International Knowledge Network of Women in Politics, women are subjected to 4 times the amount of appearance-based coverage than their male counterparts. There has even been coverage of White House counsel Catherine Ruemmler's collection of Louis Vuittons. In an interview with Politico, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand discussed how she must downplay her appearance as much as possible. She tends to wear navy blue, black, or gray almost every day and faced tabloid backlash when she did wear a flashy outfit to introduce a Supreme Court justice. Based on a study cited in the Huffington Post, articles about female candidates included more discussion of character traits. A paper from Saddleback College discussed how too much attacking in ads labels a woman as too aggressive, and the gender of a candidate is also more likely to be mentioned when it's a woman. They have to be both masculine and feminine in their presentation of themselves.
So I think in 2008, Secretary Clinton ran a tough campaign, and she was wary of showing her femininity, and worked really hard to be tough, and she is. But this time around, I think that she has warmed up to talking about being a mom and being a grandmother, and showing a little bit more of that side of her, and I think that the general public has received it positively.
I've had Hillary say, I don't like Donald Trump's tone.
That's not how nobody's going to offer her $650,000 to hear her come. She will put you to sleep. She's a screeching bore. There's nothing charismatic, enigmatic about Mrs. Clinton would make you want to listen to her talk.
In all of my poli-sci classes, we have a lot of open discussions, and I always get talked over by men in my class, which is really frustrating because it's hard for women to get involved in such a male-dominated field in the first place, and to feel like your thoughts aren't being listened to, and just that you're going to be talked over and ignored in your career is really disheartening, actually. And that's one thing that always frustrates me. And so I feel like that discourages a lot of young women and girls from going into poli-sci and political fields.
This woolly windbag is doing more for the right than free enterprise. Every time she opens her mouth, more Americans think, I'm voting for Romney just so I don't ever have to see this woman again.
According to inhibitory effects and psychologist Albert Bandura's observational learning theory, you are not likely to repeat what you see someone else punished for doing.
I don't know. I think when her numbers went down, she should have brought down her neckline.
Girls are not likely to raise their voice if they see female politicians being mocked for doing so. They're not going to feel comfortable in their appearance if they see women politicians being constantly judged on theirs. As political director Jessica Church noted, this isn't going to change until there is more diverse women leadership. Women are mocked not only for the appearance of their bodies, but also the functioning. Their periods and emotions are said to make them unstable and incompetent. They are punished for the biology of being female.
You call women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals.
I don't respect her as a journalist. I have no respect for her. I don't think she's very good. I think she's highly overrated. Questions. And, you know, you could see there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever. But
So I think that the way that women are represented in politics, especially by the media, is always really sad. It's not really encouraging to girls to want to get into politics, because who wants to get involved in a career that somebody's going to be like, oh, she had to go to the bathroom and that's disgusting. That's not normal. People should be respecting women for what they're learning and what ideas they have, and not based on their gender.
Former CIA Director Michael Hayden characterized Senator Dianne Feinstein's motivation for releasing the report as emotional.
That motivation for the report, Chris, may show deep emotional feeling on the part of the senator.
A paper from Saddleback College noted that women have to be careful in how they include her family in her campaign. While men tout being a family man, any association with the home and family is a hindrance for a woman candidate.
Wondering what impact it might have on Hillary Clinton's decision to run for president.
Does the fact that she's going to become a grandmother on top of some of the other considerations factor in?
Could it put a bump in Hillary's 2016 plans? And is it sexist to ask?
Your decision to stay on prohibits the party from having a younger leadership and hurts the party in the long term. What's your response?
This past week, Secretary Clinton was on the campaign trail in New York, and she was at a ice cream shop in the city, and Mikey made her a victory sundae, and a male reporter asked her how many calories were in that sundae, which is not a question that anybody, I think, should ever ask anybody, but especially not a male reporter asking the woman who might be the next president of the United States. And rightfully, she sort of refused to answer, like, no, boo, and then the rest of the reporters in the press pool booed him also.
Symbolic annihilation, as proposed by George Gerbner, is the absence of representation or underrepresentation of some group of people in the media. This affects how that group sees themselves and their value. Gay Tuchman divided the concept of symbolic annihilation into three aspects: omission, trivialization, and condemnation. Seeing women in politics condemned, trivialized, or gone altogether affects girls' idea of their possibilities and opportunities.
I work at a summer camp, and it's all girls, and I've noticed with a lot of them that with the younger kids, it's that they aspire to be something that might not necessarily be gender oriented, like a firefighter or something of that nature. And then as they get older, it might change a little bit. They want to be a teacher, they want to do something that's more dominated by females.
But it's not just presidential candidates and senators. Any woman close to the political field risks being attacked and demeaned for the same things.
When allies of Chris Christie released a report exonerating Christie in the Bridgegate scandal, his former aide Bridget Ann Kelly provoked similar concerns.
She seemed emotional. She was habitually concerned about how she was perceived by the governor. A boyfriend had ended a relationship. That's in reference to one of the Christie officials that she was with. The report commissioned by Mr. Christie and released Thursday doubles down on a strategy of portraying Miss Kelly as duplicitous, weeping frequently, and dependent on men for approval and stability.
Women are 50% of the population, but nowhere close to 50% of the representation. And until something shifts in how we present women in political media, that's not going to change.